to meet you.
Dan Pfeffer, the pond guy, Greg Wittstock.
Hi, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I don't want to go on vacation.
I love it. I wouldn't want to either. It is a absolutely beautiful day in Larchmont, New York, and we are with Tom Dieck, Aquascape East, and we are visiting one of your Pondless waterfalls?
Pondless waterfall.
This never gets old. I love this stuff. All right, this has been here for 4 years, you said?
About 4 years.
Backs up to a woods. Oh, I hear it. And of course, there's a puppy. Right next to this gorgeous swimming pool. It's coming right out of the woods. Stress just melted away immediately.
This is where my client works. This is his office.
And this is his office view.
This is his view. But this is really where he spends his time out here.
You got some blooming canna. Beautiful. Man, this is so this is one thing about Tom that we're gonna share with you guys is he is a full-bore landscape designer. So every time you're going to see one of his water features, it's going to be intricate with the plants, which are part of the decorations that make the Christmas tree.
It has to be.
Yes.
So you can't have one without the other.
And here's your
There's
client.
my client, Dan Pfeffer.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Dan Pfeffer, the pond guy, Greg Wittstock.
Hi, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I don't want to go on vacation.
I love it. I wouldn't want to either,
So,
buddy.
true story, my wife and I were talking about where we should go, and she said, how about our backyard? She
Nice.
said, if you promise to disconnect, we'll stay.
That's right.
And I said, you got a deal.
What a nice thing. This is your 4th year owning this?
4th year owning it, and I tend to work outside a lot more than I ever did in my life.
See, that's what makes it worth it. So
That's my office right there.
that is so nice. So what a cool house too. Is that must have been an addition, obviously. Yeah. So what got you inspired to get Aquascape East to build this? Like, where did you see it, or a
I
friend?
had seen some of the landscaping work that one of my neighbors did, and I was intrigued, so I think I stopped you on the street and I said, come over, take a look. We had a tired, old-looking pool, which I hadn't really touched in about 10 or 12 years. And I said, I want to turn this into an oasis.
And it is an oasis. The pool looks fantastic. I mean, it really does feel like you're at a resort back here. And the plants, the hydrangeas, you get all this?
Yes.
Oh, spectacular work, just fantastic. Well, part of the thing that we're doing with this vlogging is we're trying to show how people showcase living the aquascape lifestyle.
Right.
And they don't really get it. Like, they don't have a perspective of, I can have a waterfall in my yard. Like, they think of
Well, that was
Colorado.
my first reaction too. When Tom said, we should do a waterfall in your yard, I said, what are you kidding? We don't have the elevation. We don't have the environment here. And he said, well, you really do. And we did it on paper first, and we talked about it. He laid it out, and I said, let's go. Let's do it.
It literally looks like it's coming out of the woods. What do people that come here for the first time say?
Wow. Well, we just had my daughter's wedding last weekend.
Oh.
And originally, they were going to do photos someplace
You like the
else.
guy?
I love the guy. Okay. I love the guy. So they were originally going to do photos, and the photographer came to the house, and she said, are you kidding? You have to do it here.
Wow.
So we did a lot of photos here right by the fountain. I'll send them to you.
That's fantastic. Now, how much, people always ask, how much work is this?
0. Honestly, I typically do things just for fun. I'll clean out the leaves, I'll clean out the algae.
Therapeutic.
It is honestly. And I'll climb up here, my kids climb up there. So it's really no work at all.
So you have one kid that was married.
I have one kid that's married. I have one that is senior in college. and I have another one that's a senior in high school. We're going into a senior year.
Okay, boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Nice.
So we just kind of hang out here.
This is
And my son loves to tinker also, loves to play a little bit.
That's what they should be doing. Instead of being inside on a computer, they should be outside in nature.
And that's what this really encourages them to do.
The textures, Tom, and I mean, how did you design this? I mean, I'd be very interested because how do you see this? Because obviously how everything just works together with the colors and the textures and the different elevations, like how do you envision it? How do you see this when you put something like this together?
When you're in a woodland setting, you really want to incorporate plants to make it feel like you're coming out of a woodland. So having a backdrop so your eye doesn't go past the waterfall is important. It stops. So, and then in doing that, you really need to bring color around water.
Yes.
And we do most of this with perennials, but then there are some flowering shrubs involved, the hydrangeas and viburnums. But I also love the different textures that you go. So if you're going to do a lot of wide leaves, you have to throw in something with very ornate skinny leaves. You just want to move your eye from area to area with color and textures.
It is spectacular, buddy.
Thank you.
So we're building a power plant in...
on the block?
No,
This is business.
This is his business. Good. Tell him what you got.
So we're building a power plant. It's a geothermal power plant.
Yes.
In St. Kitts and Nevis. It's on the island of Nevis, which is somewhat remote. And we have a 9-acre site, and the power plant will take up about 2.5 acres. And I've been talking to my partners, and we're going to go ahead and do a waterfall. It's geothermal, so it's all about water. It's all about hot water. We're going to have this beautiful 1.5-acre pond area. We want to get some movement going in that water.
Yes.
And it's geothermal, so it looks blue because it's heavy silica concentration.
Yes.
If you've heard of the Blue Lagoon in Iceland, that's just a hot spring from geothermal fluid that they pump out of the ground. We're going to be doing the same thing.
Well, what I love about that idea is it will help tell the story of what's going on. You put a decorative water feature in there, you can actually tell the geothermal story because it'll add an element of interest.
And we're building a visitor center, so the first thing people will see when they come in will be the waterfall, the pond, and they'll see movement and landscaping and boulders. And
there you go. I think I know a guy that can come down and help you with that one.
And the terrain is set up for it.
Oh, it's all sloped.
The mountainside off where the visitor center is going to be, it's just going to be a perfect place to flow.
Okay, so now I got to go. Is it St. Kitts, Nevis?
Yeah.
I got to go to St. Kitts and Nevis and showcase how people are living the hydroponic lifestyle down there.
There you go. So let me tell you a little bit about this water feature in particular. This is a pondless waterfall. Underneath this area here is a reservoir that holds the water, that helps it recycle. Every time this turns off, all the water goes down, so the storage has to be large enough to handle all of what you see above here. So we have a pumping system that sits down in our reservoir in a vault, and it pumps it up to the top of the waterfalls and then comes down. So when we build the waterfalls, this allows us to be very creative with the movement of the water, how many drops we're having, the type of drop, whether it's a stream or a sheep drop or a babbling brook type of feel. And basically, if you're looking to do a system like this, you're looking at around 17,000 just for the water feature. The plantings and everything are additional. In this case, we knew we wanted to do something about 17 to 20 feet, would fit very nicely into this corner of the property. It's a huge focal point for the house and for the deck. So this feature here also has LED lighting in it, so at night the pond doesn't go away, the pondless waterfall. It is a huge focal point, and even more so during the day in my opinion. I love these at night.
Tom is unbelievably responsive. I can text him in the middle of the afternoon and say, hey, do you have a couple minutes to talk? He'll say, yeah, I'm in the neighborhood, let me stop by. So that's how things and that's how these projects get done, because when you're in the mood to do something, if you wait a week or wait 2 weeks to talk to somebody, you kind of lose that mood.
Right.
And he's also responsive when I have questions. Hey, is it supposed to do this, or is it supposed to look like this? Or what do you think about adding some trees to further enhance the privacy?
Yep.
He's always around. He's always here, and he makes you feel like you're his only customer.
Well,
and he's not, because I know all the people you're working for, at least in this area.
Well, because this is art. What we're creating in people's yards is art, and the relationship. And you might want to address this. I mean, we're sitting here on this beautiful patio, relaxed. There's not the same relationship doesn't exist with a landscape customer as it does with a water feature customer. It's a connection. I mean, you can address this. I mean, you do the full service landscaping. We don't have the same connection because you're really changing a house into a home because people want a vacation at their house. I mean,
that's why I love the term vacation creation at home. It's not specific just on one entity. It's taking every little area that someone's going to spend their time outdoors and making someone feel like they're in their little private paradise.
And that's why it's good to get to know the customer. You know, like it's a pond or a pondless, and you know, maintenance or maintenance free. So for us, it's a labor of love. Like for me, I love my job, which I get to go visit my customers' customers. You know, but I started off as a pond builder and still do in Chicago. And the relationship with those customers, I mean, they come into the retail store, you give them big hugs because they talk about their fish or what's going on with their kids or everything else because you've gotten to know them because you've really changed their lifestyle. And that's why we say live in the Aquascape lifestyle.
You know, this is an investment just like anything else. And you think about what's your return on the investment. And for me, the return on the investment has been sanity. I mean, it really allows me to unwind. It allows me to take phone calls from outside. And the only thing I hear is the background. And I really think I am. In the winter, when we turn it off now, I miss it.
There's, when that water is running, there is negative ions being released into the air. You know, just like when you work out, you get endorphin rush. When you're sitting in nature, it is literally negative ions. You're breathing them in, and it's changing your mood.
Even if it makes me blind, I just want to see the light. Breathe in, leave it all behind. I just want to see the light. Even if it makes me blind.
So we're with Tom and Tim, or Dylan. Tim Dillon. All right, so we're still visiting the beautiful water features of Aquascapes East out here with Tom and Dylan, and we've got a fountainscape here?
It's a fountainscape.
Okay.
5 basalt columns mixed into a kind of pondless waterfall situation.
Yep. Did you do some of the landscaping here as well?
We did all of this.
Nice, so beautiful. What a neat house. I mean, how old is a house like this?
A Tudor like this is probably someplace around 70 years old. About that? Yeah.
Beautiful.
About 70 years old.
Wow, what a neat space. Okay, so right back there, I see it. How old is this water feature?
Wow, I'm gonna say this was 9 years ago.
Okay, so about 9 years ago, they came in and here's what I like about this. It's a combination of not just Mongolian basalt rocks. Those rocks came from Mongolia, okay? But he's got a waterfalls incorporated in it and even a drilled stone, a natural stone up close. That's a very unusual design, a very unique house. And there you have, which shows you can really do anything depending on the artists and the customers' perspectives. I love
Busy fellow. He's the head of I don't know how many physicians, but NYU, and this is where he sits behind this glass. That's his computer. So we knew that a focal point had to be right here for him, and the table itself is now a huge focal point area for them. So I bet you people fight at the chairs here because you don't want that chair at the end. You really want to sit here and look at this.
Unless you like being looked at.
Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Your eyes go that way. The sound is beautiful. Everything draws you out into this landscape, and nothing better to draw you out but water. Nothing better.
So here I walk in, I have no idea what to expect besides it's a fountainscape. And I see this. I've never seen the Mongolian basalt rocks put in that way. The landscaping just beautiful here, the hiddenness of this, and then hearing how he enjoys it and does his entertaining out here and works looking over at this. And I think that's how someone's living the aquascape lifestyle. What's fun for me is to see how each water feature is a unique work of art, one-of-a-kind custom creation, but the process remains the same. And I just found out that when Tom first built this, he had a fountain on here. One day, took it out, it was an urn, and put this in instead, because this is art and we take a lot of pride in our work, and he didn't like the way it looked, and now they love that. That's what's so fun for me, to see how different people are living the lifestyle. If you like seeing cool water features like this in unique places, like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. Look at these other videos and see how people all over the world, literally the world, are living the aquascape lifestyle. I love my job.